Goes first to Mike Scherzan,
Okay.
and it is from Jane Goldsmith of Trainer. And she asks, do you support increasing funding for college affordability programs, income-based repayment programs, student loan forgiveness programs, and Pell Grants?
The answer to that question very succinctly would be yes. This is a very important issue to me because education is a differentiator in this country. It allows people to work their way out of poverty, not necessarily because they're educated, but because of how they utilize and change their lives because they are educated. It's what you do with that education. I have two daughters who are educators. I have Emily, who actually was a special ed teacher at Johnson High School. I have Katie, who has a master's degree in education. And my daughter-in-law, Kathleen, has a master's degree from Drake. When we gather around the Sunday dinner table, which we do, I get an earful of education. And I understand that, number one, the debt that Iowans incur when they graduate college is about $29,000 on average. It goes up to $30,000 to $50,000 for many people, and even $100,000. So the first thing we need to do is address how that debt is acquired. Many times they're having to pay points. They're having to pay 4 to 8% for that money. And it's atrocious when you can get interest on your mortgage for 2 and 3 and 4%. You have to pay those kind of rates. So that's the first thing I would. The second thing I believe in is actually allowing people to graduate college. There's a lot of discussion about free education. I believe in public service as part of that deal. And we did that in the 60s with many of the services, and I think we can address our educational debt in a very similar fashion.
Do you support increasing funding for college affordability programs, income-based repayment programs, student loan forgiveness programs, and Pell Grants?
The answer to that would be yes across the board. When I was in Job Corps, okay, I was in a room, 8 people, 4 bunks, four bunks. And a lot of the individuals I was in Job Corps with didn't necessarily have a thought about what their future was going to hold, okay? I thought about that. And obviously you can tell, you can hear from my voice, I remember Job Corps very, very succinctly. I would not be here if not for the aforementioned that he just asked. I am a living example of what happens when a student or a young person can find their traction and then get help along the way. See, when I didn't believe at the time when I was in Job Corps that I was smart enough to go to college. I didn't believe that. I had never had that breathed into me. So when I was in Job Corps, I learned how to play basketball really, really well because I thought that basketball would be the way for me to go to school. Well, it turned out it was the way for me to go to community college. And I ended up getting what I thought was a basketball scholarship. However, it turned out it was a Pell Grant. But I didn't know it was a Pell Grant. So what we are talking about in making college affordable, in Pell Grants, and making education accessible is one of the reasons why I am a strong supporter of tuition-free community college and/or vocational training. I would like to see the doors open to college for as many individuals as we can see and/or vocational training so that they can move forward and progress in their life. I've seen success, and I would like to see others experience the same level of success, if not even greater, than I've been afforded the luxury to do.
Do you support increasing funding for college affordability programs, income-based repayment programs, student loan forgiveness programs, and Pell Grants?
I absolutely do. As I said earlier, I was able to go to college because of the GI Bill, and I did work on the post-9/11 GI Bill. I do want to say that right now, unfortunately, we have a representative who in the first 3 months in office voted to cut Pell Grants for over 18,000 college students here in the 3rd District, and within the past month, co-sponsored legislation to make cuts to the post-9/11 GI Bill for our veterans and our families. So we can do a lot better. It is very important that we address the cost of college and the existing student loan crisis that we have. Now, my wife, Chelsea, unfortunately was not able to go to college on the GI Bill like I was. She still has several student loans, and I support Senator Warren's plan to allow folks in her position to consolidate those loans into one payment, income-based repayment as well, and to lower that interest rate significantly. That's how we have to move forward. I also do believe in a public service option. My public service was in the military. That's not for everybody. But I believe that when, part of the reason the Greatest Generation was considered so great is because everyone had done something to be part of collective action to win the war and be part of that effort, whether it was at home or abroad. So I believe putting a public service option into place to help defray the cost of college would be a fantastic way to do that. And I also support President Obama's Free Community College initiative and his plan as well, and would vote for that in Congress.